welcome to the Selfie Crafter. I'm Jessica, and today we are doing a Wip Chat. If you are new here and you don't know what Wip stands for, it stands for Work in Progress. And what normally happens during a Wip Chat is that you can bring out your own whips, or if you want, you could, do chores, drive around, sit on the couch, and listen to me ramble about what's been going on with my week. With that said, let's get started. So first off, I have to try and catch my breath right now. It's been very busy. And I probably should have took a moment to rest before I started this, but I just wanted to get it done before we had to go and get the kids today. But I hope you guys are doing okay. Hope you guys are staying warm if you're cold. Weather's been nuts like always. I think I complained about this last year too. The weather goes cold, then it changes to warm, then it goes cold. It doesn't know what it wants to do. It can't make up its mind. Because last week it was nice. I think the week before it was winters. This week it's back to winterish weather. So I'm back to trying to stay warm. And then next week we were told that there's a chance of snow and even maybe a white Christmas. We live far enough south where I'm we'll see. I'm so sorry. I'm also getting over whatever it was I had last week. I was definitely sick after my Whip and Chat, so it was oh great, yeah, I am coming down with something. From what my neighbor said, that there was a bad stomach bug that was going around, and then a case of strep throat. I didn't catch it. My husband thinks he had it. We're both seemingly back together. Luckily, my kids did not get it. That's, at least one of the most important things right now is that the kids did not catch it. But it has been, like I said earlier, a busy week. I feel like everything is so crammed and I'm stretched thin. And I'm just trying to do a million things at once. And I know I should probably just slow down, take a step back. But my mind's going splitting off everywhere. And I'm I just need to do everything. And I can't do everything. Which is what was happening before here in hand. But I didn't go much further from last week's Whip and Chat. Hopefully by the next week I'm either done with this or at least almost close to done. So we shall see. I didn't really get to do a lot at all because I've been telling you guys, I've been playing WoW and I'm part of a guild. And we're not a really hardcore guild, but we do want to be at least somewhat prepared for raids. And raid starts tomorrow, so I've been trying to make sure that my gear is up to par. It's the first raid of the expansion, and I've been getting my food, my potions, and flask. I'm trying to get everything ready for to be prepared for the raid. And it's been just kind of time consuming because, it's a brand new start. So, I don't have stuff saved up like I normally would. So it's taken a little bit of time trying to play catch up. And plus this expansion is a little bit different on how to do because I my profession that I have is alchemy. So I can make potions and flasks for the raid. And this time around it's kind of a little bit harder. It's instead of getting the recipes that I need to make certain types of potions that I need for the raid, I have to now discover them again. And I was never a big fan when they had that back then, but now they have qualities. So it's a lot more, it's a bigger learning curve. So I'm just trying to figure that out. Plus I'm trying to figure out my spec. And I'm sorry, I probably am boring you guys a little bit. I promise I won't ramble too much more. But I'm still playing my rogue. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to be outlaw like I was last expansion, or if I'm going to go assassination. From what I've been looking at, it might be outlaw again, but I'm trying to learn the assassination rotation, and it's been crazy. It's I wouldn't say it's a dance, but it's just it's just it feels like it's a minute rotation. It's not, but it feels like it. Before you can just get into the groove of things. Um, so yeah, and I'm sorry I really didn't get any unboxings done last week too. Like that was one of my things that I wanted to get done on the list, but as I'm telling you about what's been going on, I'm sure that you'll understand why I didn't do it, and I will try my best to get an unboxing up this week. Um, but yeah, so let's see. I can start off on Tuesday, and it will be it's wasn't really a big deal because like I did my Whip and Chat last Tuesday. Trying to play catch up and make sure not to do it this time around. I'm trying to work on Monday this time, but last Tuesday after my Whip and Chat and editing, I signed up to do Mythic Zeros because the new season hasn't started in WoW. So I decided to do Mythic Zeros, and I stayed up extremely late for that to get all of them done. So that way I didn't have to worry about it for the week. See, naive me thought that if I did all of them throughout one day, I would have free time to do the things that I needed to do, like the unboxing and stuff like that. But that was not the case. But yes, I stayed up way too late, and in the middle of that, I gotten a phone call from the school because it was still early enough, giving us a fog advisory warning for the school day. I'm like, okay, normally we don't get those, but it was just like, please, be careful, take caution, drive slower, all that fun stuff. I'm going to take a sip of my soda. Okay. Um, but yeah, we got in a phone call. I'm like, okay, nothing to worry about. I knew I was going to dread waking up because Wednesday was state testing for both Michael and Jaina. And it's state testing week for the entire school. So Wednesday was supposed to be testing for their school, their classroom. Sorry, their grade. Nicole's was supposed to be the next day. So we get there. It's really foggy, right? We're driving, so we're driving a little slower. Nothing too concerning, but we're not like going crazy fast either. We're doing the speed limit. And I don't know what it is about bad weather, but people drive like maniacs. So we're almost pulling into where the school is, and some idiot drives super fast and gets in front of us and almost clips our left front end and drives all the way to the school. Us heading the same direction. That doesn't seem to have any remorse, anything like that. I'm like, hello, like that. So yeah, I was like trying my best not to curse. I was trying my best not to like start ranting and raving. I was like, I have half a mind to get out of the car. I wasn't, but I had half a mind to get out of the car and, yell at the guy because, that's a moronic thing to do, especially in fog. And it was pretty thick fog. We couldn't see very well, too much further out. So I don't know what the person's problem was. But, so when we dropped off kids off to school, we're like, okay, my husband was feeling tired too. So I was like, we're going to just, catch up on sleep. My husband's like, I got like, meetings all day to do. So he had to do like one-on-one meetings with his team. So he's like, I got to be on camera all day. I'm like, okay. So that kind of changed my plans a bit because he's in the living room at the time being. Because he had to move out of the living room, out of the office when they were doing all the repairs. So I was like, okay, kind of changed things up. Can't really do a video. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna go try and catch up on sleep. I'll get up at 9, and then that way I can sneak behind him and just, I'll play WoW. That was my plan. I get up right at 9 o'clock, and as my alarm goes off, my phone goes off, and it's from the school. So the interesting thing was the power was actually out for the day. Well, actually, right around when we dropped them off. We didn't realize that because normally when we drop them off, only the front porch, well, not porch, the front of the schools, has lights. The hallways don't really have their lights on, and the classrooms don't have their lights because we drop them off really early. Um, so it's not, so it's not like, oh, there's no power to the school. It was like apparently half the school lost power sometime during the night, and the electric company had to go and shut down the rest of the school to do the repairs. So they were closing school for, half the day. So they only stayed in school for about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. So my husband was like, okay. So we had to do a mad dash, get the kids to get the kids to and pick them up, and then my husband and I had to pack up all of his computer stuff and then move it back into the office because he's using my crafting table at the time being. And the room was considered done, but we just needed it carpet clean to be considered completely done, and then they inspect it, and then, we can finish up for the rest of the time. So I was just like, okay. So we just kind of rushed to do that before his next face-to-face meeting kind of thing. So that was a exhausting day. It was like I was really tired during that whole time. Then Thursday, the next day, it was basically the same repeat. We got up. I stayed up way too late. But I got up. We got the kids ready for school. This time it was Nicole supposed to be doing her state testing. Michael and Jana did not get their state testing done because there was no power. So I didn't know when that was their makeup test was going to be. It's today actually. They have 2 days of testing. So the school was not closed, thankfully, but the fog was thicker this time. It was a lot worse this time around compared to the day before, and which is weird because they didn't give us a fog advisory warning or phone calls or anything like that. But it wasn't a bad idea, bad thing, or I guess. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what it is, but second day in a row, we're driving almost on the exact same path, but this time we have a car in front of us, and the car slows down to almost a complete stop. And it was just like, you can turn now because the person was going to turn. The person almost completely stops before it finally turns. And then we pick up speed. As we're picking up speed, this person, clips in front of us, and we're like, what the heck? It was inches. I was just, and it was a different person this time around. Oh my God, my heart. I was not happy. So Thursday was not a great start again. Let's see, what else? Also, when I woke up, I felt like that was when I started getting the, oh no, I'm sick. So I felt like someone was sitting on my chest. And then my voice was a lot worse than this. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to record any videos at all. I'm like, I'll do it Friday. It'll be fine. Things will be okay. If I don't do it Friday, I'll do it Saturday. It'll be fine. Things will be okay. Things were not okay. Well, they were, but, and my stomach is growling. And I fed it, and I don't know why it's starting to be as loud as it wants to be. So I'm sorry if you hear my stomach gurgling. But let's see. But yes, we just had to deal with that car, and I was just like, my husband's like, you need to calm down. I'm like, well, I don't want to have a third day of someone trying to clip us. I don't know if I can handle that. But yeah, the kids had a good day. Michael and Jana, they were they were having a blast apparently with telling us all what was happening. Nicole apparently did a great job on her state test, so she was excited. She's kind of worried about the one that's coming up tomorrow, because it's also in line with her her gifted and talent math thing that's like, I don't know if it's a district thing or if it's statewide as well, so she has 2 huge tests tomorrow. I feel so bad. The teacher says that they couldn't really schedule it any other day but that day, so poor kid's like a little stressed out. I can tell she's stressed out because she's talking a lot more in her sleep again, since she's like right across from the hall from me, so I hear her I hear her chit-chatting to herself a lot more. But yeah, we've been doing that. But Friday, this is the start of the crazy busy weekend. So I got the kids ready. And luckily this time there was no fog. There was no cars clipping us. I was extremely happy about that. The kids, the twins, Michael and Janet, they got to do their state testing. I was like, love you guys, do well, and I'm going to take a sip of soda. I'm trying to tell myself I deserve the soda instead, with all the work I've been doing. Let's see. So, I didn't really sleep well the last night before, and it wasn't because I stayed up all night playing well. It was because at that point I was really congested. I was like, I had a hard time sleeping because my chest was hurting so much. I was just like, I can't sleep. Every time I laid down, it just like felt like something was sitting on it. So I didn't really sleep very well. So when I woke up that morning, when we were getting the twins ready, I knew that the carpet cleaners were supposed to be coming anywhere between 8 to 10 was what we were told. To expect them between those times. And we were like, okay, so we're going to try and sleep in. But as they were getting ready, I was getting the bedroom ready. I was picking everything up off the floor. I was, trying to find a spot for everything because the whole place is just kind of hectic right now, and I'm trying to now finally get it back to normal. I am trying my hardest to get things back to where they belong. It's been 2 months, and I don't know where things are anymore. I don't remember half the stuff that I've left. But yeah, we had to get the carpets clean. I fell back asleep, and luckily I slept really hard, and I did not wake up until I heard the doorbell go off. And the funny thing was my husband had moved the bed out away from the wall, so I was sleeping in a weird way so that way I wouldn't fall off the bed or the pillows would fall off. He apparently tried to call me to let me know, hey, they are coming, like moments before, and I slept through that, but I heard the doorbell. So I got myself up, I straightened up the bed as fast as I could, and tried to make it look like I was definitely not sleeping, and headed downstairs and got myself ready for the day. I was like, okay, I'll try and do an unboxing after everyone's gone. I'm like, it'll be okay. It'll be fine. I got this, as I'm looking at the huge mess that's on the dining room table, and that I have no table right now. My crafting table's completely taken over by my husband. I put up the 6-foot picnic type table up for now, so I'm like, I had no table available. I'm like, I'll be fine, it'll be okay. This was actually rolled up and put away for the time being because I just had no spot for it. But yeah, I was just like, I forgot that carpet cleaning, because we don't really normally get our carpets cleaned too often. We're planning on actually getting these carpets ripped out in the future and replacing it sometime, because they're just disgusting. The kids put a number through them, and it's just, it needs to have we need new life in these floors. But yeah, they came by and they kept the front door open, and dumb me forgot to grab my hoodie upstairs, so I had to freeze part of the day while they were cleaning the carpets, and it didn't take too long. It's just that it was just it just felt like it was just so long. Let's see, what color do I want to do next? This one. All right. But after that, we were told that that they did it pretty fast. I think it was like an hour and a half for the 2 rooms. I was really surprised. We told them, don't worry about the entire room, just focus on that spot that that got damaged. He did the entire room, so I couldn't go and get my stuff. But we were told to let it be for a few hours, that it was going to dry. So we had to set the fans out and try and hope that it would dry faster. And my husband decided, he actually took the day off, surprisingly enough. But he did have to work a little bit in the morning. But he decided, well, while I'm waiting, we don't have to put the desk in your room yet. But what I can do is start working on it in the living room, And I'm like, are you serious? We could work on your desk, because we got a surprise. I forgot to mention this. We got in a surprise, I think it was Wednesday, that his desk was actually coming in that day. So that was a very happy thing, because it was supposed to come here this week instead. And he wasn't going to put my desk together until he put his desk together, is what he told me. And I was just like, Especially since when we put my crafting table back in the office for him to use for the time being, it was kind of, the way it was positioned, it was taking over a good bit of the wall where my desk was going to be sitting at. So So I was really surprised when he said, I'm going to work on your desk, and then I'll work on my desk. And I'm like, okay, that sounds like a plan to me, Okay, I'm going to take one more sip. So we were waiting for a long time for the person to tell us that they were coming by for an inspection, because it was, I want to say, we got in 8:30, 9 o'clock for them to clean the carpets, and they were out by 10:30, 11ish, and we were told that they'd be over really soon, and we were just we had no contact at all. So yeah, my husband's just like, I'm doing this, and if she doesn't contact us by the end of the day, I'm putting it in there, because I'm not spending another weekend waiting on, well, I was more like that. He kind of agreed with me. I was like, I'm not waiting another weekend at this point. I want to get back into the other room. I miss being in there. So luckily enough, she actually showed up around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and it was just, it was essentially, came in, looked at, took pictures of both the office and the bedroom, I had my husband sign some papers, and that was it. We talked a little bit, and we mentioned about the fact that her guy broke my husband's desk, and she didn't she was just like, oh, like her eyes got wide for a moment, and then didn't say anything after that. So I was like, I know, like I said, I know that my we mentioned that it was like already getting there, but he put his entire weight on the desk, from what my husband told me. So, because it was like the legs that were broken, like it was like 2 legs that were broken. It was like the cross beams that keep the legs sturdy. Those were the ones that were broken. My husband's like, it's fine as long as it's up against wall. It can hold stuff still pretty well. So, but the guy put his weight like right in between and pushed down, I guess, to the point where it just went thunk. I was just like, geez, we don't want to spend more money, but we had to spend more money. So hopefully, we're okay. But he put my desk together, but I still didn't get to use my desk. I didn't get to put anything on my desk yet. He was going to put his desk together, and I said I wanted to wait until I saw how much room I had between his desk and my desk to put my computer at, because I wasn't sure if it was going to go inside. I wasn't sure if it's going to be on the outside. It depended on, how much room we had. And he started working on his, and he got himself one that has a drawer system with it. And that thing took so many hours, and he was like, I'm done. I'll do this tomorrow. I'm like, well, tomorrow you're supposed to be taking Jaina out for, it was like, it's, what I mentioned before is basically take her out for Christmas shopping, do daddy-daughter time kind of thing, because Michael had, daddy-son time last week. And he goes, I can do it before or after. It'll be fine. I'm like, okay, I guess so. So we did stay a little late that day. I was still in the living room. I didn't have a chance to go into the office yet, so I was a little sad. So still no more diamond painting at that day. Let's see. Yeah, that's number 6. I wanted to make sure. Because I'm kind of leaning a little over trying to make sure that this is correct. Let's see. Goodness. Oh, Saturday. So Saturday. So I bet you, well, probably, and I hit the camera while I was trying to show you. I was like, I bet you guys are wondering what happened to my pinky here, but probably not. You probably go like, well, Saturday, I don't know what got into my head, man. I don't know what, but like, I had the idea. I was going to surprise Jaina. I wasn't going to do I just wanted to surprise her with a Christmas tree. I was going to finally pull everything out, because my, there was a blank spot up against, where the tree would have been. I'm like, I don't care anymore. I just want to get things done. I want to start, acting like things are, somewhat back to normal. And I just started pulling stuff out when my husband and Jaina left. They left afternoonish, and my husband mentioned that they may actually do some ordering off Amazon instead, because what Jaina wanted to get for Michael wasn't possible at Walmart, but they could take a quick look at it. Surprise, surprise, it wasn't available at Walmart, so it was some sort of posters that she thought he would like. It was cute. Let's see. But yeah, I decided I'm going to get the tree out. I'm not going to decorate it, but I'm going to have it nice and put together. It's a brand new tree. I don't know if I mentioned this to you. I'm sorry. I don't know if I mentioned it to you, but we bought a brand new tree for this year. We bought it earlier, a few months ago. About a month or two ago. But we bought a brand new tree because we got rid of our tree from last year. Last year's tree, it was still a decent tree. It was a good tree. It was a tree that lasted us many, many years. But it was a time for us to move on and, get on with our lives. And no, in all seriousness, it was a good tree for the price. It was like $100, and it's still $100 from when I look on Amazon. It's like, oh, it hasn't changed in price in 8 years. Well, not 8 years. In 8 years actually, because 7 years. 7 years. Because our first year when we moved here, I wanted to have a real life tree. Because everyone kept going on and on about it. I'm like, okay, I want to just see what the fuss is about once. After that, I was like, nah, artificial all the way. I'll just stick with artificial. So we got an artificial tree the next year, and that tree, it was like a 6.5 foot tree, and it had its own topper. This will become relevant, I promise. At least in my mind, it did. It had a tree topper. It was pre-lit. this one's pre-lit too, but it wasn't very bushy. It, not to say that it would look sparse, but it wasn't like fluff. It wasn't, just huge. So I decided I was going to pull that out, and I pulled that out. I didn't have a chance to really do things, and then like as I was doing this, I'm like, well, since I'm pulling this out, I might as well pull out all the other Christmas decorations and decorate the front yard. I told you, I don't know what got into me. It's just like we didn't get to decorate for Halloween. I'm just like I was just like I was determined to do something. I wanted to make the kids happy, spark some joy. And so I got to work. I knew that my alarm system was going off, so my husband probably saw me going in and out of the house a lot, and on the cameras. But I was like, as long as he doesn't show Jaina, it's fine. And I was like, I forgot about the unboxing because I was going to do that. But no, I was determined. My mind was like, Christmas decorations. We are going to get this done. So I started decorating the entire outside. And when I say the entire outside, I don't have a lot of Christmas decorations. To me, it's a lot, because I did a lot of the work. So I started out with getting the bow and the mailbox cover, and I got that ready to go. I grabbed the projector lights. I set that up. I grabbed the little Christmas box presents. I put that next to our Japanese maple tree. I strung the lights around that tree, and then I grabbed the nets for the bush out front. And I was pretty much, okay, that's stage 1. Stage 2 is going to take a lot harder because it's the Santa sled and his reindeer. Goodness, I don't know what it's called. But it's metal mesh and, lights all strewn in it. And I gotta like zip tie it, push metal post into each other. Sorry, I felt a sneeze coming on. I was like, I know I can at least pause this for a minute. So yeah, let's see. I gotten that much decorated, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to go inside and I'm going to get that tree up. I'm going to put it up, and then I'm going to spend my time getting it nice and fluffy, and then that way when Jaina comes home, I will have stuff ready for everyone to start decorating the tree. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited. And I was super excited because it like I like just decorating stuff. Halloween's my favorite though, but I still love doing stuff for Christmas. Let's see, this color. I'm almost done with this. Whoops. So I had to pay the blood price, is what I said. I had to pay the blood toll for getting Christmas together. It's like the Christmas gods looked down and went, it's way too late in the Christmas season. Why are you decorating now? We shall exact a toll on you. That's what it felt like. So the tree was extremely heavy, and this tree is 7.5 feet tall instead, so a whole foot taller, and a whole lot heavier. So I get the base out, I get the stand out. I got that done. It took some lugging, but I was able to get that fit in. Then I got the middle piece put in, and I was doing good. I'm like, I'm exhausted. We're going to just get this last piece in, and then I'm going to sit down. Actually, I could just pull up one of my office chairs and sit down and just start pulling the branches out, and I can just relax and do that. That was my plan. I was like, I got this. I was just like, I was out of breath. I was like, I can do this. And my I have weak wrists as well, so I can't hold things very well too long. So this I don't know if you can see where this is going. So I get the last piece, the very top, and it's heavy when you're trying to hold it with one hand and you're trying to do this. It's funny now, but at the same time, I feel so bad because I freaked out both Michael and Nicole since they were staying home, and they were getting all excited watching what was going on. I was like hyping them up with Christmas stuff. I was like, "We're doing this. We're gonna do Christmas. We got this, guys." This is gonna be such a big surprise, right? I was getting messages from my husband at the time. He was like messaging me like stuff like he got an ice cream cone for Jaina from Dairy Queen, and she was eating it and she was enjoying herself, and I was just like, I'm doing great. I worked more than I have ever. I've put so much energy and effort and exercise, it felt like, than I have in months. Because I hurt everywhere right now. But let's see. But as I was doing this, my wrist did not hold onto the top portion, and I was trying to fit the little post into the hole, and I was having trouble with doing that. And then once I was able to find it, it's just like all the energy in my hand let go, and it slammed down, and my pinky was unfortunately caught between the two. And I'll spare you the gruesome details, but I was bleeding everywhere. The kids were crying. I was like, it's okay. I'm trying to calm them down. I'm trying to mop my hand up. I'm looking at the tree to make sure there's nothing on the tree. And it's like, they were like, Mommy's gonna die. I'm like, I'm not going to die. I promise I'll be okay. Oh, I almost cursed though. That was like, I think the second or third time I've almost cursed during the week in front of Phil. I was like, but it was, at one point I kind of like looked at my hand after I was able to clean things up and try and get a good glance, but I couldn't. I really couldn't. I looked at my hand, and I was like, I think I need stitches. It was pretty bad. Like, it took a couple layers off. It's going to take a long time to heal. Is all I'm going to say. It's going to take a while to heal. And at that point, I'm like, okay, my husband's not gonna be happy with me. He's gonna be like, you should have waited till I got home so I could help out. And I'm just like, I'm just trying to do and bring Christmas to everything. Oh man, I felt so embarrassed at the same time, but I got everyone calmed down. Especially when I'm like, I'm not gonna die. I'm like, Nicole, just get me a Band-Aid. I need a Band-Aid. She's like, what about the antibiotic ointment? I'm like, it's not gonna work right now. I'm bleeding everywhere. I'll put it on later. I did. I just needed to stop the bleeding. So, got that all done. And then I sat down. I knew that I had to message my husband. Showed him a picture of what I could. I'm like, and I explained what happened, and then he's like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, I'll be fine. Don't come back home. I'll be fine. But actually he did came back home, but not because of my finger. Although sweet as that could have been. But no, Dairy Queen did not sit right with him. The poor guy. He's just as bad with my as my son with the lactose stuff. So he unfortunately had to cut the trip short. And he didn't want to disappoint Jaina, but Jaina was actually fine with it. So we told Jaina what we can do, since we knew what presents we want. We're going to order that online. Excuse me. Needed to take another sip of soda from all of that. But we said we'll just do the part 2. It's going to be part 1 and part 2. So that's what we did. I mentioned to my husband that I was having trouble with the net lights outside, so he went outside and straightened what I put onto the whole thing for me, so that way I didn't have to go and try and do stuff with my hand. Let's see. And then we spent the rest of the day, like, I was just talking to the kids. I was, pulling the branches, you making it look fluffy, and it looks so pretty. I'll see if I can put a picture on it, but I wasn't going to do any decorations until later because I was just like, we'll do it the next day, once we have more light. But I kind of gave up and said, let's do it, because my husband was building his desk. He's like, okay, I'm going to work on my desk. I'm like, okay, sounds great, I was just thinking that'll be fine. And then we decided we were going to actually go and see Christmas lights that day instead of Sunday. So I was like, okay, that sounds fine. We can, I'm flexible. So that's what we did. We picked up dinner. So I didn't have to cook, because the deal was I was going to make shrimp tacos for Michael and Nicole that day. But I was like, I am not peeling shrimp with my pinky like this. It's going to sting. It's going to hurt. I am not going to deal with it. He's like, fair enough. So he worked on his desk. I worked on everything else. And my mind was still like, I'm determined to get things done. I gotta get this done. I want to work on it. So after I was done with the tree, we didn't decorate the tree yet. After I was done with the tree, I was like, I'm going to work on that Santa sleigh and reindeer. I was going to leave it the next day, but I was like, nope, we're doing it now. So I got to work, and it was so much easier this year compared to last year, and I'm so glad I kept the instructions. Last year, we built it outside, where I couldn't sit down, and I had to take a break. This year, I was sitting in my chair. I was able to put things together lickety-split, and then I took it outside and then put the stakes in the ground. So it was already dark by that point. So when I went outside, I turned on all the lights, and let's see, I'm almost done with this section. I might have to open this one up. Let's see. I turned on all the lights. I went and set the projector. The second projector that I bought last year broke again. The stake broke, so it was like, I kind of went, we can have one projector this year. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll be fine. I was not fine. I'll be fine. Let's see. But yeah, I gotten that all set up. It looks awesome. I'm just, the kids were so ecstatic. And I think after all that, that's what made it worth it the most, just to make them happy. I was happy to get them that excitement. I was just worried because there was no tree, and normally we have a tree up, if not the day after Thanksgiving, at least December 1st, and I couldn't even get that up. So I'm pleased. I did make purchases, so talk about the tree topper. It's 7.5 foot tree. It's a big tree, but it has no tree topper. So I went out and I bought the cheapest one that I could find that looked decent. And it supposedly rotates, and it does a projection of snowflakes onto the ceiling. We'll see, because it's $10. I'll get a better one next year if this one craps out on us. It was just something that we could have. So, and then I also bought a tree skirt. We have never gotten a tree skirt at all. We've been using all of our Christmas blankets that we have as the tree skirt. But I'm like, nope, this year we're getting a tree skirt. So I looked on Amazon, got that. They should be here in the next few days, hopefully. Cross your fingers. Did I put my tray over there? I need it in the back. So we'll be getting that done. I was going to do one more thing, but I felt like I was starting to go a little overboard. I had the kids decorate the tree, and as I'm looking at the ornaments, and I'm looking at the tree, and I'm going, that's not going to be enough ornaments. Now, sorry, excuse me, my stomach is just talking to me. I hope you guys don't hear it talking. So I am not a kind of person who likes to, and this is not a diss, because I know my mother-in-law does this, but I don't like having like every inch of the tree covered. I remember like some of the trees that she's decorated, and they look so cool. But that's not my aesthetic. My aesthetic's more like I want it to look full, but I don't want it like every inch crammed. But I was looking at the ornaments, and I'm like, that's not enough ornaments. My husband's like, what do you mean? Because I don't normally say that, and I'm like, that's not enough ornaments. And he's like, we should be fine. I'm like, I might need to buy some more ornaments. I want to, match the aesthetic that I got. He goes, we'll be fine. We put the ornaments on. I'm like, yeah, that's not enough ornaments. It looks okay. It's not like it's awful. But I'm thinking I'm going to add some blue ornaments to the mix. We never gotten blue ones, so I think that will help. Like if I just like buy a pack of blue type ones with the red, silver, and green that I have, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But I did find some other stuff. I started looking online. I'm like, oh, I could put some flowers here and here. And he goes, you're starting to become my mom. I'm like, I'm not going crazy, I promise. I'm like, no, I'll be fine. I'm not going overboard. And I'm like, okay, we'll be fine. And I don't mean any disrespect. I'm trying to be silly here. Let's see. But yeah, we got the tree mostly decorated. I figured I'll just buy some candy canes and I'll give that to the kids to decorate. I could have sworn I bought candy canes, but apparently I didn't. Let's see. Okay, I need the hashtag. Where's that? But my husband was having such a hard time with the desk. He had to take it apart, put it together, take it apart, put it together, like, because I guess the instructions weren't totally clear about certain things. So he gave up and said, I'm done. We're going to go outside and we're going to go look at the lights. So we didn't go very far, but we got to look at some lights. I said we better go to a better neighborhood next week. I want to make sure the kids get a decent look at the lights. And of course, as we're going around, I'm taking notes going, I should do that next year. I should do that next year. My husband's like, you're going nuts. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm like, I'm making plans. But yeah, I figured projector, I'm changing that. I'm upgrading to projector next year. Instead of the little tiny rinky dink one, I noticed the ones that people had that filled the house, like that actually did the whole house, looks decently and looks bright. They have those really big global looking ones. I'm like, I gotta find those. Those are the ones I need to look for. So that's one of the things we're going to do. Then the next thing is, like, I always keep talking to him about this, but I want to get, like, icicle type looking things. He doesn't want to ever decorate the roof. We never really decorate the roof, and I can understand it. I don't want to do that either. But I still want to decorate, like, part of the house, like the windows. And I was pointing out some of the stuff as we were going by. I'm like, look, they're doing it in the inside. We could do that too. And he's like, oh boy. I'm like, just get a timer, just decorate that, put it on timer, have it on, have it off, and it'll be great. Let's see, what color do I need? Let's go with 5. So, let's see. What else? When we got back, he's like, okay, we're gonna work on this. We're gonna get everything back into the room. I'm like, okay. So he works on the desk. I didn't play on my computer at all. I actually started dismantling my computer, unplugging my monitor, my keyboard, mouse, everything. Sorry, attached to the desk that I was currently using at the time. And I think it was about midnight when we finally got everything put together. Like, his desk was put together. He started putting his things back on the desk, and I started putting my items on the desk. And we sat down after everything turned back on. And we haven't even worried about cable management. That's going to be another day when we feel like it, with crawling underneath the desk and everything. But it looks so good. I have my section for diamond painting, although I'm not at the table there right now. I'm in the dining room. I was able to clean up the dining room a bit today. But he's literally like right behind me now in the room. So you hear the keyboard. So I'm like, okay, I don't think I can. I don't think I can do a whip and chat in here. I definitely know I can't do an unboxing in there because the desk it's not wide enough. Uh, it's half the length of this dining room table, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything but like time lapses and whip and chats, unless my husband has meetings and stuff like that. So, so it might be more. It might be more up in the air about stuff. Let's see. Let's go with this color. Um, but we stayed up a little too late. We stayed up a lot of days late. Because I wasn't ready for bed. I just wanted to kind of start, diamond painting a little bit, and I was like dabbling a little bit with it, trying out the whole new area. It was weird being right by my husband again, but really nice at the same time. Um, let's see. Yeah, but I think I went to bed like almost 4 o'clock that night. I was like, okay, I'll have like stuff that I'm listening to in the background because I gotta study for raid fights, and I'm going to listen to that while I diamond paint a little bit and do like a little bit of color numbers, just, kind of relax and rewind, especially after a long day. Um, but the next day was, I took it easy. I took it super easy yesterday. I hurt so bad from everything yesterday. My body let me know that I kind of went a little too hard. Um so I said I'm going to just rest. I'm going to diamond paint a little bit here and there. I didn't diamond paint that much like I was hoping. And my husband did part 2 with Jana in the later part of the afternoon. Nicole, she's like, bye, going to my friends today. The other day, she didn't get to go to her friend's house because her friend was actually at a birthday party with someone else's. So she was not, and she wasn't invited, so she doesn't know this girl. So it's not like, oh my goodness, exclusive, kind of thing. So Nicole was like, can I go over to my friends? I'm like, okay, I guess. And she was gone. She went, bye. I'm like, bye. um, let's see, what else happened that day? Michael and I was kind of hoping it would be similar to how I spent the day with Jana, because I knew that even though the day before I was too busy with Christmas stuff, since I was taking it a little bit easier, maybe we could have played Uno, Clue. Nope, wanted to play Minecraft. He's like, but he wanted to hang out with me. I'm like, okay, you can hang out with me. So he stayed in the office and he sat in my husband's chair. So he babbled to me. I'm like, oh my goodness, this kid has a set of lungs. Oh my goodness, he just doesn't stop. And of course, his favorite thing is about the periodic table. And he's just asking me questions like, what do you do when you combine this and this? I'm like, I don't know. Let's look it up. So I stop diamond painting. We go look it up. I give him his answer. He seems satisfied. I go back. He asks me another question. I go look it up. Because science is not my forte at all. I am not good in math and science. I am terrible at it, in fact. But he enjoyed himself for the most part, just doing that. And at one point, I'm like, hey, how about if I play Christmas music? Would you want to listen to that? Because I was just like, I just need a break. And he's like, yeah. So I start playing Christmas songs, and then he starts asking me about if I grew up with this song and that song. I'm like, I am never gonna get over this. But yeah, it was decent. I liked it. Let's see what else happened. earlier, and it was a good thing because earlier my husband went to go to Food Lion, the grocery store, and get some groceries. He ordered some groceries to pick up, and I had to break up an argument between him and Jana because they were arguing about how many days are in a month. Like it was like May and stuff like that, and they were listening to a song, and I hear Jana go, "See, Michael, I was right." And Michael was like, "Well, let me just go and listen to it one more time." So I'm like, he's been asking me like every day, how many days are in March? How many days are in February? Well, not February. He knows that one. How many days are in January? How many days are in September? So I started doing the poem that I'm pretty sure a lot of you were taught. I went, Michael, hey, listen, dude. 30 days past September. I wasn't talking to you. I didn't ask you. I'm like, excuse me? We don't talk like that here. I'm like, I'm trying to give you a poem so you can remember so you would stop asking. And she was right. Because it's like, if you listen to the song, 30 days past September, April, June, and November, all the rest have 31. And she was telling him that May had 31 days. And he was like, no, it has 30. And he's a smart little man. He's extremely smart. But sometimes and my husband's, I pointed this out to my husband. He goes, it's funny because I don't show that in front of him. He has a little habit of what my husband is, I'm right all the time. I'm like, no, you're not. But Michael thinks he's right. And it's like, no, you're not right. Sorry. But he couldn't comprehend it. I'm like, yeah, you're not right all the time, sweetie. That happens. It just, that's why you learn and, you move on. You learn with your mistakes, you adapt and, keep that in your memory so that way you don't make the same mistake. But it was just like, I told my husband about this after, and my husband like, really, Michael? You really? And Michael's like, I'm sorry. And it's like, yeah, mommy's not smart on a lot of stuff. Well, he didn't say that, but I say that. But he goes, sorry, that we may not know everything, but we do know how to look things up. And if we do know stuff, please, give us the chance to answer it, instead of like acting the way, you did. So yeah, like I said, I was glad that his mood had improved so much more a few hours later with all the questions he was giving me. But from what I've heard, Jana and my husband had a blast. Jana especially. He started sending me pictures. He took her to a arcade type place, so they were playing like crane games and doing all sorts of activities there and enjoying herself. And then he took her to Five Guys, so she got herself a hamburger, and I was like, pick me up one too. I want some fries. I forgot the fries were gonna get cold. But yeah, I spent the most of the time with Nicole and Michael when Nicole got home. I was like, all right, guys, Daddy bought like these little personal pot pies for you guys to munch on. So here you go, dig on in. I was like, because I was still trying to nurse this Pinky, and I gave them their food, and I was like trying to get things ready because today's testing for both Michael and Jana, so I didn't want things to be like a rush right at the end of the day and them like, oh no, I forgot this and that. So I was trying to get them to get Michael and Nicole to take a shower, even though Nicole's not doing any testing because Jana came home pretty late, like 6:30ish, I think, if I remember correctly. So so I was just like, okay, guys, let's just, let's try and finish up. I'm going to take one more sip. All right. And then let's look at one more. I think I have time for a little bit about today. Um, but so I was hoping to do the Whip and Chat earlier today instead of I think it's almost one. One, yeah, I think it's almost there. I could be wrong. I can't see with my phone right now. um, excuse me. I am so sorry about coughing. I'm trying not to cough into the microphone. Um, so the reason why I was tired earlier today, um, is I got a bug in me again to start trying to straighten up. Like I really want to get this house back to its at least somewhat normal, if not even better state than it was before the whole storm that hit and messed up the rooms and stuff like that. So I actually started pulling out the Christmas presents because that's another thing. There's everything's in Amazon boxes right now everywhere because I don't want the kids to know what their Christmas gifts are. So I just check the boxes, and if it's the correct thing, I tape the boxes up and put them up where they can't reach. So the kids see all these boxes around that they can't touch right now. And it just looks like a pigsty with everything going on right now. But I can't help it because there's two rooms that was essentially out of commission. Um, but I grabbed all the boxes this morning, and I condensed it into two boxes now, so it's not like several boxes everywhere. And I've put those boxes in the into the pantry for now. I was going to wrap presents today. Was my goal. I don't think I'm going to do that today. I think with everything I've done today, I need to take another small break. Especially since I still have to prepare for WoW and stuff like that. I'm like juggling so much right now. I know WoW's not the end all be all, but it's my little hobby that I get to actually interact with other adults. That I get to talk to people and, have some fun with. So I just want to make sure that I got some stuff ready to go for that day. Because I think it's it's Tuesdays and Thursdays that I do raids, and then I do mythics either Wednesdays right now or Mondays or whatever day we're going to choose for that. But I gotten that put up, and then I was just like, I promised Nicole she could have my old desk. So I went to her desk because it literally is just a writing desk, and I looked at it, and she has so much crap piled up on it, so many knickknacks, so much. It's ridiculous. I was kind of disgusted, to be honest. So I cleaned up her desk. I pulled everything apart. Let's see, what else did I do? I moved the little writing desk out of the way and the rocking chair that was next to it, and I vacuumed that area because it was just crumbs and stuff like that. I'm like, no more eating around your computer. No, that's not going to happen anymore. So, so I gotten that area set up, and then I cleaned off my desk. I asked her if I could still use a portion of my desk since it's huge to store some of my things until I have room to put them in its correct spot. So she's like, yeah, sure. I think she just wanted the desk. She's like, yeah. So I didn't ask my husband. He got on to me. Guys, he got on to me again. Because that desk is heavy. My old desk is extremely heavy. I move that thing from one side of the room to the other side slowly. Like, I lift it one side, and I do and dropped it. I go back to the other side. I lift it up. I move it a little bit forward. And it was just like me edging it and then turning it around and then pushing it up against the wall. And it took a while, but I got it done. I put her computer stuff back on it. I did ask my husband that he has to connect everything because I'm just too tired for that. And then I vacuumed the side where my desk was sitting, and it wasn't as bad. There was some stuff that kind of dropped around, so I vacuumed that, and that's where the rocking chair is now proceeding. It's like living there for the time being, and the writing desk is behind it until I can figure out what to do with it. And then I went into the dining room, and it was just a pile of stuff. The table became a catch-all, and I hated that. So I started picking up all my stuff that I had here, my diamond painting things. I put them back onto my other table. And then I started wiping down the table that had like a bunch of kids stuff. And I was so mad because I'm like looking at the floor, I'm looking at the table. There's food. There's like from when they got McDonald's on Saturday, they got sweet sour sauce, and I thought they mopped it up, but they didn't mop it up. They left it along with a paper towel on top of it. So the paper towel was sticking on the table, and I was just like, "You've got to be kidding me!" And so I had to scrub hard, and luckily there was not any lasting damage. Thankfully, I would have cried. But I'm having my husband vacuum this floor for me because I'm so tired from lugging things around. I think I don't think I can do any more. I think me doing that desk was a little bit too much. My arms hurt so bad right now. So I asked him if he could take over that for me later on today when he gets a chance. I wasn't gonna push that onto him, but I wanted to get this vacuumed now. But it won't be now. But I would like to get it done today at least. But yeah, and then I realized I wasn't going to be able to do my Wip Chat, so in there because he was about to have his meetings, and so I moved my diamond stuff in here. I got everything set up, and then I sat down, and then I started doing this. But yeah, it was just like it's been really busy. I don't know if it's ever going to slow down. I got some stuff going on later on this week too. I got my dentist appointment on Wednesday. We're probably going to go to the store again on Wednesday, so that way I can pick up some Christmas bags because some of the presents that I bought are not wrappable. So I have to buy some gift bags for them. And let's see what else is going on. Like I said, I have my raids going on, so those are going to take up some time, and then my mythics. So that's 3 days that I am, completely out of the running with. So it's just like, and plus I'm trying so desperately to get everything back to normal. I know it won't happen anytime soon, but I just want things to start looking at least somewhat nicer. So I will try and get an unboxing up this week, guys. I promise. I'll do my best. I want to try and get like at least one unboxing again out a week. And I want to start with some of the Black Friday purchases that I gotten from Diamond Art Club because I'm like, I want to do that Christmas Faye. I'm like, I really want to see it. I'm excited. But I'm going to wrap it up here. I think I did a pretty good. Hit a pretty good dent while I was talking, guys. What do you think? Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!